Howdy! This is the video digest for the third week of the APCH 640 class. The topic of the week is low carbohydrate diet. So according to the National Academy of Science, adequate level of carbohydrate intake ranges from 45 to 65%. And according to these standards, a low carbohydrate diet should have a carbohydrate intake level of less than 45%. Well, answer to the question would be no. Well, as we have seen, the low carbohydrate literature covers diets with a range of carbohydrate intake levels, well, as small as 4% to over 40%. So it would be legitimate to divide these diets into two groups. First, the very low carbohydrate diets group, which composed of diets that has carbohydrates intake of 20% or less, and the other group would be those diets with carbohydrate intake of over 20% and less than 45%. So I got this example breakfast from Bolek's study. So this example breakfast includes a ham and cheese omelette that's made of 3 whole eggs, 2 ounces of cheddar cheese, and 2 ounces of ham. Along with it, the breakfast includes 2 slices of bacon and a cup of coffee with 2 tablespoons of cream. So for this question, I refer back to 3 studies by Foster, Stern, and Yancey. So basically, the very low carbohydrate diets have unfavorable effects on LDL, but just little, and they had favorable effects on HDL and TAG, actually by Week3Lee. For this question, I refer to 2 studies, one by Brem and one by Sjögren. So both the studies did not find any significant changes regarding LDL. However, regarding HDL, Sjögren did not find any significant changes. However, Brem did find significant improvements in HDL. Brem also found a significant reduction in the TAG level, which is favorable. According to Sharma's study, low carbohydrate diet would reduce the markers of inflammation. However, it may not be that simple. According to the study by Sjögren, a low carbohydrate diet reduced the markers of inflammation among those with high baseline level of inflammation. However, it actually increased the markers of inflammation among those with low baseline level of inflammation. Well, the most important determinant would be adherence. According to a graphical presentation of a result from Dansinger's study, after controlling for adherence, there wasn't much significant difference between 4 different dietary patterns in terms of average weight loss over a year course. So I found this interesting study that is done in Sweden. So a group of researchers followed over 1,000 Swedish men who are ages 70 or over for 10 years. And they collected their dietary intake data and calculated it into their adherence to the World Health Organization's dietary guideline, Mediterranean diet, and also the low carbohydrate diet. By the way, their definition of low carbohydrate diet, was not based on this percentage of carbohydrate intake, but more based on the ratio of carbohydrates to protein intake. So by the way, they also collected vital status data, and they ran Cox regression with multiple variable adjustment, and to see the effect of this adherence on different food patterns on mortality. And they found that adherence to Mediterranean diet actually decreases mortality, and this is not surprising. It somewhat aligns with what we have learned, heard, and read last week. What's surprising was their finding that adherence to low carbohydrate diet would actually increase mortality. And this was surprising, so I kind of returned to more literature, and I found there's a conflicting findings about it actually. And although they kind of differ on their conclusion, they kind of say the same thing in their discussion, that is saturated fat. And in the lecture, we learned that a low carbohydrate diet tends to increase the portion of fat in your diet, but that doesn't always mean increase in saturated fat. So it really goes back to this, your nutrition components in your diet. And actually, I think you can statistically adjust for saturated level in your model, and the researchers may not see this negative changes that they saw. They may not see this negative effect of low carbohydrate diet on mortality, or may see something else. However, what concerns me is that for people, those who choose to take low carbohydrate diet, can they actually practically adjust for their saturated fat? Yeah. So this is it for my video digest. And if you have any concerns or questions, please feel free to leave the comments below. And thank you for watching. Have a great week.